Assalamu alaikum, dear brothers and sisters. In this world where every word seems to count, where every gesture is observed, there exists a secret that few know, a secret transmitted to the purest souls. This secret is neither a complex mystery nor knowledge hidden in books. It is a treasure that we carry in the silence of our heart. In this video, we dive into a deep topic. Allah's chosen one never revealed this secret, a secret that goes beyond simple understanding. It is an invitation to discover a spiritual path where silence, faith, and meditation become essential keys. Have you ever wondered what it really means to be one of Allah's chosen ones? What are the secrets hidden in the silence of the soul, and why are they so powerful? Together, let's explore this inner path where the greatest secret awaits you. 1. Silence, a spiritual weapon. Silence is much more than a simple absence of words. It is a sanctuary, a sacred space where the soul can soothe and reconnect with its Creator. In the tumult of the world, where voices are raised to dominate, to convince, to criticize, Allah's chosen ones know that silence is not a weakness, but a power. It is a subtle act of worship, a state where the soul bows before the greatness of Allah without requiring words. The Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, teaches us a timeless truth. He who believes in Allah and the last day, whether he speaks good or remains silent. Sahih Bukhari, Sahih Muslim. This wisdom reminds us that every word we speak is recorded, weighed, and evaluated. The elected understand that the word has spiritual weight. Speaking wrongly or wrongly can tarnish the light that shines in them, this light that Allah has placed in their hearts. Conversely, silence, when guided by wisdom, protects this light, nourishes it, and makes it shine. The power of silence in faith. Why is silence so powerful? Because it is a form of submission. When we choose to remain silent, we recognize our limitations. We accept that not everything we feel or think is worth expressing. It is an act of humility before Allah, a reminder that He alone holds all knowledge and wisdom. In the Qur'an, Allah says, "And pursue not that of which thou hast no knowledge, hearing and sight and the heart. Concerning all these verily shall be questioned." Surah Al-Isra, 17:36. This verse illustrates the importance of controlling not only our words, but also our thoughts and intentions. Silence is a barrier against the sins of the tongue, slander, lies, hasty judgments. It is a protection against errors that can harm our relationship with Allah and with others. The art of silence, a lesson for the chosen. Let's take a moment to ponder. How many times have words spoken on the spur of the moment caused regret? Allah's chosen ones are aware that every word has the power to build or destroy. They choose their words carefully, ensuring that they bring good, otherwise they prefer to remain silent. Imagine a garden. Every word you speak is a seed you plant. If you choose kind words, nourished by truth and wisdom, you will cultivate a flourishing garden. But if your words are laden with anger, malice, or carelessness, they become weeds that choke out all that is good. The elected officials in their silence protect their interior garden, refusing to sow toxic seeds there. Silence is also a weapon against those who seek to shake their faith or their tranquility. In a world where many seek to provoke, to hurt, to divide, elected officials choose not to respond. Their silence becomes an impenetrable wall. As the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, "When one of you becomes angry, let him be silent." Musnad Ahmad. Silence then becomes a response not of helplessness, but of self-control. It is a proof of inner strength and reliance on Allah. A question of introspection. As we explore the power of silence, let us ask ourselves this essential question. What is the secret you keep deep inside? What if this silence was your strength? Imagine that this secret is a treasure. A treasure cannot be exposed for all to see. It is carefully guarded, protected from those who could envy or destroy it. In the same way, Allah's chosen ones know that certain truths must never be revealed. They are confidences between them and their Lord. Allah says in the Qur'an, "And trust in Allah, and Allah will be sufficient for you as your protector." Surah Al-Ahzab 33. Can you choose silence today? Can you protect your inner treasures and use your silence as a spiritual weapon against the noise of the world? The silence of elected officials is not a void. It is a presence, a divine presence, a connection to Allah, and proof of the wisdom that emanates from their deep faith. 2. The story of a chosen one. In a small oasis in the heart of the desert lived a pious man. His name was not known to everyone because he did not seek glory or recognition. He lived simply, humbly, in harmony with nature, and in devotion to Allah. Every night, at the hour when the stars shone brightest, he got up to pray. He was a man who knew the depth of silence, a sacred silence, where the soul is nourished by the divine presence. In this oasis, far from the noise of the world, he felt close to his Creator. He was not a man of many words. On the contrary, he preferred the peaceful isolation of the night to entrust himself to Allah in a silent but deep prayer. In the morning, when the first rays of the sun caressed the warm sand, he resumed his activities, humbly serving his community and his neighbors without trying to be noticed. His actions were simple, but imbued with great wisdom. Everything around him seemed to float in gentle tranquility. His eyes reflected inner peace, a peace that needed no justification. One day, a tired traveler arrived in the oasis. After days of walking under the scorching sun, he sought refuge with this man. The host, with infinite kindness, offered him fresh water and a little bread. The traveler, seeing the serenity of the pious man, could not help asking a question that had troubled him for a while. "My friend, what is the secret of your serenity? How can you stay so calm, so peaceful, when the world is full of noise and turmoil?" The man smiled softly, his eyes shining with a soft, divine light. After a moment of silence, he replied, "My secret is not in what I say, but in what I keep quiet." The traveler was struck by this response. He tried to understand, but before he could ask any further questions, the man got up, went to a small shaded corner under a palm tree, and began to pray, without saying a word, but in concentration, absolute, the teaching of silence. The man's words echoed in the traveler's mind for several days. He began to observe the pious man. He followed him in his simple but profound actions. Little by little, he understood that what characterized the man was not his great verbal wisdom, but his humble devotion to Allah. He did not seek to teach through speeches or arguments, but through his silence, through his presence, through his prayer. He knew that true wisdom was not to reveal everything, but to keep this divine light within oneself, intact and unaltered. In the Qur'an, Allah says, "Those who believe and whose hearts are tranquilized by the remembrance of Allah. Certainly, it is by the evocation of Allah that their hearts are tranquilized." Surah Al-Isra 13:28. This verse perfectly illustrates the peace this man possessed. The tranquility he found did not come from external distractions, but from his intimate relationship with Allah, in the secret of prayer and meditation. He knew that true dedication did not lie in the outward appearance, but in what was hidden in the heart. A practice of silent devotion. The traveler, inspired by this example, decided to follow the example of this man. Every day, after completing his tasks, he would isolate himself for a moment to pray, to meditate and to remember Allah, not with words, but with the silence of his heart. Silence became for him a form of divine communion, a place where thoughts faded and the soul found itself alone with its Creator. Little by little, he felt his own serenity growing. The trials and difficulties of life no longer seemed so heavy to bear. The noise of the world, which once seemed unbearable, became more distant. In the silence of his heart, he found a peace that nothing could alter. The invitation to reflection. So what is the secret of this serenity? If we look deep within the heart, we can understand that the key lies in this silent devotion, in this ability to listen and feel the presence of Allah beyond the external noise. The secret is not in what we say, but in the purity of our intentions and in our silent relationship with our Creator. What if, like this man, your secret lay in your silent devotion? Silence is not the absence of something, but the presence of a deeper truth. It is in this silence he now understood that sometimes the greatest truths are those that we keep, and that closeness to Allah is found in the heart that knows how to abandon itself in silence and adoration. This man's message is clear. There is no greater wisdom than finding peace in silence, and this peace in itself becomes a reflection of the divine wisdom of Allah. 3. Divine trust. In the silence of the night, when a heart is pure and devoted, Allah chooses to place secrets there. But these secrets are not burdens or weights to carry. They are hidden blessings, fragments of divine light that, in their essence, uplift the soul. Why are some chosen to receive these secrets and others not? It is not the fruit of human merit, but of divine grace. Allah chooses those whose hearts are pure, and to these He grants a trust which they do not seek to understand, but which they accept with humility. The Qur'an, in all its splendor, reminds us that trust in Allah is the key to everything, and trust in Allah. Allah is sufficient for you as your protector. Surah Al-Ahzab 33:3. These words are not mere verses, but a call to deep faith. Trust in Allah is not a passive act. It is a daily commitment, an interior decision. Allah's chosen ones do not cling to the illusion of human control. They know that their life, their destiny, everything they have actually belongs to Him, and it is to Him that they return. Their trust is total, absolute, and this allows them to carry secrets that no one else could understand. The weight of divine secrets. The human soul, in its quest for truth, carries invisible burdens. These burdens are not measured by weight, but by depth of faith. The elect carry these secrets with apparent lightness, but it is the depth of their faith that allows them to do so. Each trial, each inner impulse that pushes them to keep secrets is an opportunity to get closer to Allah. They understand that everything that happens in their lives is just a way to strengthen this sacred relationship. A secret entrusted by Allah. True trust in Allah is not a trust that awaits proof, but a trust that is based on the certainty that even in times of darkness, Allah is always there, ready to protect and guide us. 4. Questions for the soul. The greatest revelations are often found in inner silence. This silence is not the absence of words, but the presence of an elevated consciousness, of a deep attention to what lies beyond appearance. In this calm, Allah can make truths heard that escape the noise of the world. And in this silence, we can ask questions of our soul, questions that awaken the depth of our relationship with Him. If Allah entrusted you with a secret, would you be worthy of keeping it? This question is an invitation to introspection. Allah entrusts secrets, spiritual blessings, and profound truths. But the question remains, would you be willing to accept and preserve them? In our quest for knowledge, the real question is not what we know, but how we act with what we know. Are you able to keep what you learn, not to glorify yourself, but to honor Allah and draw closer to Him? In Islam, we learn that true knowledge is that which is reflected in our actions, in our ability to keep what is entrusted to us in all humility. The Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, said, "He who knows his soul knows his Lord." Sahih Muslim. Perhaps the secret of divine wisdom lies in recognizing our own weakness and accepting that everything given to us, even the greatest secrets, are gifts from Allah. We must wear them with respect, dignity, and silence, far from the eyes of the world. Does your silence honor your relationship with Allah? In a world where everything is exposed, where every thought, every word, every action is often shared and analyzed, silence becomes a rare virtue, a form of worship. Why is silence so powerful? Because it reveals a deep respect for what is sacred. When we choose to remain silent, we show our submission to Allah. We show Him that we honor what He has entrusted to us. Silence in the spiritual context does not mean inaction, but the conscious intention to focus on what is essential. In your silence, you can hear the subtle voice of your conscience, which guides you towards the divine light. This silence becomes a form of worship. If every word can be a source of distraction, every silence can be a source of peace and connection with the divine. The Qur'an tells us, "And say, My Lord, bring me in by a true entrance, and bring me out by a true exit, and grant me authorized authority from you." Surah Al-Isra 1780. Silence in its purity is a path to truth. By meditating, by listening, by paying attention to what you feel, you honor your relationship with Allah. Have you taken a moment today to meditate on divine wisdom? Divine wisdom is not always evident, but it is always present. Islam teaches that we must constantly remember Allah, and that every act, even the most everyday, can be transformed into an act of worship if our intention is pure. Have you taken a moment in your day to connect with this wisdom? Or are you too caught up in the outside world to hear the divine voice that guides you? Every moment of silence is an opportunity to enter into communion with Allah, to contemplate His greatness, and to meditate on the wisdom He offers us. Spiritual meditation is not simply a mental act, but an opening of the heart to divine truth. By asking these questions of your soul, you open a door to divine light, a light that illuminates the darkness of ignorance and misguidedness. The Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, said, "There is in the body a piece of flesh, which if it is purified, the whole body is purified. And if it is corrupted, the whole body is corrupted. This piece of flesh is the heart." Sahih Bukhari. Purifying the heart is a constant journey, and meditation is a powerful way to purify the heart. Every moment you devote to contemplating divine wisdom brings you closer to inner purity. The believer as mirror. The Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, also said, "The believer is like a mirror to another believer." Abu Dawood. These words reveal a profound truth. Our actions, our words, and even our silence are reflections of what we carry in our hearts. As you meditate on this word, consider this question. Are you a mirror of divine wisdom to others? Every believer has the responsibility to be a reflection of divine teachings, not only through their words, but through their actions, their behavior, and their silence. In your silence, you become a mirror. You reflect the light of Allah, not only through your visible actions, but also through the inner peace you cultivate. You become an example to others, a living model of divine wisdom. By becoming a mirror, you allow Allah's light to shine through you, illuminating the path of those around you. The key to becoming a chosen one. Finally, the most important question. What if in your introspection, you found the key to becoming one of the chosen ones? The chosen ones are those who understand the value of silence, meditation, and complete trust in Allah. They know that secrets are not to be exposed, but to be kept, to be preserved in the purity of their hearts. They do not seek to glorify themselves, but to humble themselves before Allah, asking Him to guide them on the right path. In your silence, in your inner reflection, you can discover the path to this spiritual elevation. This path does not depend on external circumstances, but on the sincerity of your intention and the purity of your heart. Are you ready to become this mirror, this reflection of divine wisdom? At the heart of this spiritual quest, we have discovered that silence is not just an absence of noise, but a sacred space where divine truth is hidden. Allah's chosen ones carry invisible secrets, not to keep them for themselves, but to honor their intimate relationship with Him. This secret is not an external knowledge, but an interior path, a journey of trust and devotion. So, ask yourself this question: are you ready to keep this secret in your heart? Every day, every moment of silence is an opportunity to strengthen your bond with Allah. May this silence become your strength, and may, in your introspection, you discover the divine wisdom that awaits you.